Alrighty, y'all. Hello. It's Friday. The weekend is here. You know, these are my favorite videos, favorite day of the week. And Friday means fun here on the channel. We're going to do something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Finally, looking at some houses, some properties, some apartments, kind of whatever we can find in Europe as a whole. So we're going to be looking at some different European countries. Of course, I can't cover them all in one video, but if this goes well and does well, we will do more of this and maybe even a live stream looking at this. That would be awesome. I've gathered some websites that I found with the help of basically some subreddits, and we'll see if these websites look legit, and of course, see what we can find. Basically looking at prices and just the way things are, the way the properties look, the houses look, the styles, the features, seeing how it compares to, well, here in my neck of the woods here in the US. Let's have fun. All right, so starting out, we are on pretty much any of these websites I really can't pronounce properly. This is like some hemnet.se, so this is a Swedish website. Let's go here first. It's my first time seeing these, by the way. So really, this will all be kind of new to me, and will be new for us together. So yeah, starting out with this. You can see Sweden highlighted here. You can see all the different listings. Not much going on in northern Sweden, it looks like. Most of it concentrated in the southern third of the country, really. So that's pretty interesting. And let's just start clicking on stuff. I notice it's not in euros, but rather SEK, so Swedish, currency. And the prices look crazy, but I'm assuming, I'm thinking with like an American, like US dollars mindset here. I'm assuming this probably is much less in dollars. But let's just click on, I guess, the first one, but that's a paid placement one. How about one of the cheaper ones here? Let's click on this one, all right? See what we have going on. So let's see if this is a house or perhaps an apartment. It kind of looks like a house. It is. Okay, so this is really cool. First impressions, like if we actually look at the outside, it's cute, right? It's not flashy, it's not over the top, and it's also not very big, but it actually looks kind of roomy inside. I think it makes use of the space pretty well. Of course, the photography might be doing it some favors also. Sometimes real estate photography can be really tricky, right? It can make places look even better than they really are. But yeah, this one's got a cool kitchen, nice and modern looking, I'd say. Really kind of honestly fancy here, right? A severe lack of carpet, which, of course, is kind of awesome. Now, of course, in kitchens and maybe living rooms, you won't find carpet in most U.S. houses, but from what I understand, harder type of floors are just more common elsewhere than they are here. Yeah, see, even the bedrooms are this. Whereas that would almost always be carpet in any U.S. state, in any home in the U.S. So, yeah, that is a big difference. Of course, the closets are different, right? You have these kind of wardrobes, right, that are put in, and then you put your clothes and different towels and such in there. So that's a lot different than typically you would see here in the U.S. You do have that option here. It's just not as common. Now, this is odd. Is this a washing machine in the bathroom? See, right away, we see some differences. Again, I don't know if this is a house. Okay, it's not actually a house. It's an apartment unit, right? Yeah, I think so. Look at this. Interesting playground right on hand. That's pretty cool. And there's the floor plan. So that's pretty cool. Like, that's always the funny thing, like the details, right? The bathroom is a lot different. I don't see any plugins, right? I don't see any light switch. And of course, like I said, you have the toilet, the bathtub, and then the washing machine. And the sink, of course. Yeah, you won't find the washing machine in the bathroom here. That's not a thing. I will say the natural light is shockingly very throughout here. That's a good thing. It's got a lot of natural light, so I think that's really cool. Another thing I'll say is it's kind of cool with the integrated oven and such here. The refrigerator is, I think they call it like what, French door style, where you have the two doors that open, split like that. And I have to say it's bigger than I thought, or maybe the picture's an illusion, but it looks like a bigger refrigerator than I would have pictured, because I know a lot of European countries, like a lot of places, have small fridges compared to what we have here in the U.S. But this one kind of looks almost on par with what you would have in the U.S. And this one, by the way, was basically round up, 1.3 SEK. I wonder how much that is in dollars. That's $136,000. Wow, that is actually cheap. That's Swedish krona. Okay. So you buy that instead of like rent it then? Because it's an apartment, but you can just buy it like outright? I'm not exactly sure, but that's pretty cool. There's kind of the description of it. Let's see the monthly fee. So 6,600 SEK. I want to see what that is in dollars. Wow, 700 US dollars? That's cheap. Okay, this changes the whole game. This, what I think is a nice apartment, nice, clean, modern. This is only $700 a month? Are we serious right now? This type of, obviously there's differences, but if you could find a U.S. apartment similar size to this, similar vibe, similar in terms of modern and features, it depends where, of course, but even in a cheaper place in the U.S., you couldn't even touch that in L.A., New York, Chicago, right? But even in like a cheaper place in a smaller city in the U.S., this type of apartment nowadays in 2025, this is going for $1,500 at the very least. That's even hard to find, $1,500 US dollars a month, whereas this is $700. But honestly, most places this would be $1,800, maybe $2,000 a month. I mean, the U.S. is ungodly expensive right now, and has been for the last few years. This is an amazing price. Like, what? All right, and we'll look at at least one more. I mean, like I said, I would love to look at a bunch of these. But in all honesty, I want to try and cover at least a few countries. Look at this one. It's an actual house. Now, it actually looks like pretty big. I want to find like somewhat of a smaller house, or at least like a normal house, which, how do you even classify what's normal, right? But the other one was an apartment. Like, is this a house? Damn, that is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Look at the landscape around it. Very nice. Wow, cool slanted property. I like the integrated steps into the earth there. This is a pretty cool place, I think, right? What are our thoughts on this? This is something I got to do live. I would love to hear your thoughts live on this kind of thing. Is this like what is this, like a garage? Or at least like a car shelter or something? It's kind of cool. And look at this. Love the outdoor area. And then like you also have like an indoor little house here. That is really cool. I like this. This has some cool kind of ingenuity here. Now, of course, we get, dare I say, kind of a similar aesthetic to the apartment we just saw inside. I like it, right? It's modern. It's clean. It's still got some character to it. Very interesting, right? Now, again, the kitchen, that's really nice kitchen. That's one of my favorite parts. Definitely my wife's favorite part. Like, we love a place with a nice kitchen. I just think that's a measure of like a good place, right? Again, huge refrigerator. That's like a big surprise to me. And the kitchen, yeah, it looks pretty cool. Like, there's still some differences, definitely in cabinet design. Now, I like that you guys have islands in the kitchen. That's obviously trendy here in the U.S. as well, and very usable also. Now, look at the immense number of drawers, right? Like, and of course cabinets, but like there's just different style than here. I actually really like this a lot. This kitchen goes toe to toe with anything I've seen here. It's very nice. Of course, nice bedrooms, big bed. That's cool to see. Nice bathroom. Look at that, 2 sinks. Wow, very cool. Again, this is interesting, like, to see shocking differences, of course, even shocking similarities as well. That bathroom, wow, this is hella luxurious. Damn. That is a nice bathroom. I'm assuming maybe, is this just like a normal Swedish house, or would we consider this maybe a little high-end? I'm not sure. We're going to check the price here. Pictures are still going. Very cool. I mean, this is a nice place. I mean, let's get real, right? Beautiful day when they took the pictures. Nice grass. What do you guys use for lawn maintenance? Like, is the lawn mowing game the same? You guys have like zero-turn mowers or tractors or just push mow? What are we using in Sweden here? You got to let me know. Anyhow, this house is 6,600. So let's see how much that is in US dollars. And this one's pretty pricey, 695,000. So I would say that's probably not necessarily a normal Swedish house. It's probably in a somewhat desirable area. I would know nothing about that, but I'm assuming it's in a pretty, good area. And of course, it is a nice house too. So yeah, 600, basically 700,000 US dollars. Not exactly cheap by any means, but again, like in certain places in the US, that's a decent deal. I mean, you could easily spend a lot more than that. And if we're comparing kind of how that house was to the US, again, I'd say that's pretty competitive price. I think that's pretty cool. And then if we wanted the map view of this for anyone that, has more knowledge on this type of thing than me, this is where it is at. So if we get a big picture of Sweden, it's in the southern, third again here, and it's kind of by this body of water, which is really cool. It looks like a kind of a neat area. Alrighty, moving on to the next country. We're doing these at random here. This is Germany, so we'll run through a couple of these as well. Again, clicking on random stuff. I clicked on this one. This is in Berlin, I think. Now, Germany's pretty big, so again, this could vary a lot, I'm sure. And of course, we have no pictures of this one. Except that, which I'm not even sure if that's the one either, because these are all stock footage photos. So I'm not really sure. Let's find a different one. That is, we're having a lot of different things here. We have apartments, some big apartments. Here's one, 945,000 euros. Now, at least euros are a little closer in like, that, kind of dollar amount in my head. So I get a little better idea here. 429,000. This is like the average cost of a house in the U.S. So let's kind of click on this one. See what this is like. This is in Berlin as well. So I'll look at one more place after because it seems to only show you per city, which is totally cool. Not many pictures on this listing though. I will say that. So we don't get a real great idea of what this is like, honestly. Although I will say this, like the bathrooms seem a little smaller than you would typically find in the U.S. Slightly different styles as well. Like this toilet looks kind of bizarre. Right? It just looks different, right? This is like really narrow here and separated. It's just a different design, right? It's not that it's worse or better. It's just different. Kitchen's definitely a lot smaller. Now this is an apartment, of course. Maybe not a real big one either. Although has one huge advantage. Those awesome German windows. Now, I know you get these in other countries as well, but the point is you don't find this here in the U.S. at all. So that's pretty cool. A lot of natural light I'm seeing in a lot of these. I think that's awesome. So windows clearly are an important piece of the puzzle when it comes to, I feel like, European homes as a whole. And, of course, they are in some U.S. homes and they aren't in others. So now this is 429,000 euros. I don't know if this is a good deal or not. I have no idea. Remember, this video is just kind of for fun. It's also like pretty rough because I don't know exactly what the best sites are, and I don't know how to navigate these sites perfectly either because it's just stuff I'm not used to, right? See the yellow marker? That's where it's at. For reference, for people that would know more than me, it's in, I guess, the west central area of Berlin, kind of close to this greenery here. So there you go. I don't know if that's a great area or not so great. No idea. Now, this is cool. It allows you to draw your search area. It's not a thing on any U.S. site. So, again, I kind of love it. Like, Germany, this is awesome. Let's do random, right? Let's do, like, where should we go? Wow, look at this. It's like 3D. Let's go down here. Draw. Look at that. Oh, that is so cool. Look, we just drew this triangle. How cool is that? Cancel. Let's try and draw this again. Leave it to a German website to just kind of like, look at this. Blow my mind. This is so cool. That's perfect. Look, we just drew an area, this triangle. Now find me a home. Let's go. That is awesome. All right, so here we go. Now we're in a different area. We're in this area. And of course not. I can't pronounce that. What are you thinking? Here we go. We got some homes. Let's click on this. And this is definitely a German-looking home, I feel like, from what I've seen before. So different than here, and I love it, right? That's what we're here to see. Wow, I'm assuming this is an older home. Not gonna lie, pretty small inside, a little outdated, but don't take offense to that. Some people want an older preserved home, and that's totally cool, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with this at all. It's just totally different. And then of course you have like vaulted ceilings. I always like that. That's pretty neat as well. Nice outdoor kind of backyard, of course, with the shade. That's always valuable. Yeah, nice area to eat breakfast outside. I love it. And this house is only 310,000 euros. So again, I don't know, I'm going to count more on you guys to tell me if these houses are a great deal or not. But again, I think that sounds maybe like it's a little pricey for what you get, but I don't know. I don't know, right? Don't take my word for it. I mean, trust me, there's a lot of houses that are way too expensive here in the U.S., so I definitely have no room to talk. All right, let's do an idea here, all right, before we move on. Let's do a big search area, okay? So let's zoom out and all the way over to, like, here, okay? Like that. Search area too large. Well, dang it. Just try like a little bit of a big search area. Like this. Well, let me do that. It does. Okay, so this is like sort of a big search area. And I just want to do cheapest and most expensive. So let's click on the cheapest house. So actually, I lied. Let's click on the most expensive house. So that would be this one. 5.8 million euros. Is that correct? Or what are we dealing with here? Oh my God. All right, that's not what we want. That's like a bunch of apartments. And the site keeps crashing. It's probably on my end. No big deal. 27 million euros. Here we go. This is a house for sale. What does 27 million get you in Germany? Holy crap, palm trees. I didn't even know that was a thing in Germany. Look at that. That is a nice backyard. And for 27 million, that's all that you're going to see. That's it. So just trust me, bro. It's a nice place. Very interesting. Okay. All right. And then naturally, let's look at the cheapest one. This ought to be interesting. 109 euros. There you go. 109 euros for this apartment. I have a feeling this site is trolling me. There you go. There you go, guys. 109 euros. Honestly, for that price, I think I might buy it. What the hell? What do we think? I'm going to move on. I think that site is kind of cracking me up. Some cool features. A little clunky, though, on the delivery, I must say. Let's go to another random site. What do I have lined up here? This is Croatia, okay? Something totally different. All right, let's see how this works. Oh, my God, look at this. We have cars. Oh, this has everything for sale. Look at this. Scooters, motorcycles, cars, apartments, catalogs. Oh, my God, this is so cool. Lidl. Look at all these stores. Kaufland. Oh, my God, this is so cool. Unlock all ads. Okay. Look at this Mercedes-Benz van all decked out. How cool is that? Wow. We have wheels even. Okay, this is so cool. Yeah, I got to do more with this stuff. I've been wanting to do this stuff for a long time. You can even buy iPhones, barrels, everything you could think of. I love how the scooter selection, right? Like, you can get scooters in the U.S. It's just no one really uses them. And quite frankly, there's just not a lot for sale. Like around me, look at all the scooters. I imagine this is so much more common in a country like Croatia. Even the cars, gotta love that. Look at all these Peugeots. Again, we don't even have those here. And some of them are pretty cheap. I mean, look at this hybrid 2.0 HDI, backup camera, eight grand. That's it. I'm wondering how there is an El Camino, which I believe originated here in the U.S. At least I would think it would. But that is cool. I never pictured seeing an El Camino in Croatia, but you just never know. That is actually awesome. Apparently, it's 20,000 euros. I mean, not bad, really. Lawnmowers. I got to see lawnmowers. This is so cool. Lawnmowers in Europe. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. That is so fascinating. It looks like the same, kind of a mix of electric and then regular, gasoline engine mowers. Husqvarna, self-propelled. Look at the zero turn. I have a zero turn because I have a couple acres. I need one. Unfortunately, they're a little pricey, but if you have a big yard, you kind of have to have one. All right, I got to stay on topic. I'm sorry, Croatia. Let me see some apartments, all right? This one is cheap, 72,000 euros. Now, I feel like that is like very affordable, or at least, cheap compared to some other ones we've looked at. Definitely a different vibe, right? Look at this. Wow, this house is packed with stuff. So different, right? I love seeing the different vibes at different places. This is why Europe, it's hard to even say Europe because Europe is a continent. Remember, like every country is so different, and that's what's pretty interesting. These are smaller, right? This is only a 1.5 room or 1.5 room place, but again, like they make use of it. There's kind of a lot going on in there. Like they have pretty good weather a lot of the time. I mean, I've seen the videos, like they have amazing roads, at least in some places, amazing scenery, right? You have the sea, you have the mountains. So it's pretty cool. I think I could deal with one of these. This is a 2-bedroom duplex. And I'm just kind of getting a vibe of it. Like, living in a place is living, right? Like it varies across the world, but at the end of the day, like, we all live in an apartment or a house or whatever. Like there's only so many ways you can do it. So this is clearly different than a lot of the places you would ever find in the U.S. But it's kind of the same too, right? I mean, it's the same idea, and that's what's interesting. Different way. I notice now we have the washer in the kitchen, it looks like. So that's completely different. Pretty small kitchen on this one, but usable still, like the couch. Everything's just kind of interesting, a lot different. Even furniture than you would ever find here. I mean, look at the bed, right? This is so different. I hate to use that word a lot, but that's all I could think of. Very narrow staircase, tall, narrow doors. I mean, everything is just different shaped than you would find here in the U.S., and that's what I find interesting. I wonder if the dog comes with. That would be cool. But overall, Croatia, I like it. It's a vibe. It's fun. It looks like a fun place. Look at this, a Toyota RAV4 for 2,500 euros. Look at these. These were so funny. They're so small. But I bet that's a reliable vehicle, right? It's an old Toyota, and it's a stick shift. You know what? I want this. I should just get it for no reason. I bought a Toyota from Croatia, and it's a manual. That is awesome. It looks like it's sun faded. It's kind of cool, right? I wonder what it uses. This is probably different than like a RAV4 than we would have had in the U.S., right? There's probably differences. Different engines, maybe. Different features. Yeah, this is cool. Toyota RAV4 classic car. I love it. I guess it is because it's a 1995. All right, now we're going over to Belgium. We're going to look at a couple quick. I'll try and make this quicker because it just seems like this takes long. Look at this beautiful house, 890,000 euros. So this one's not necessarily cheap, but it's just kind of cool to look. Yeah, beautiful house style. I like it. Pretty long driveway, more than I would imagine. Look like a 2-car garage. Wow, this is a nice house. Belgium, holy. That is cool. Very cool. Again, way different. Bigger fridge than I would have expected. But I like the really, really clean aesthetic here. I like the down lighting like that. Lots of kind of clever storage, I'll say. Now, the bedrooms are pretty similar. It's just, it is like a different modern type of style when it comes to the furniture, the cabinetry, the storage, window shapes, right? There's a lot more variety there compared to the U.S. houses. Remember, at the end of the day, a lot of U.S. houses are just kind of cookie cutter. They're all very similar, right? And then when it comes down to like windows and stuff, you get even less variety. It seems like everything's just kind of overly standardized. And you get a lot more variety, I feel like, from these different countries. Big yard. I'm kind of surprised to see that. That's really awesome. And again, probably not the norm, but interesting nonetheless. This is an expensive house, but it's pretty cool. And on the opposite end, we have one that is basically a third of the price. So let's see what this is like. This is in Belgium as well. Let's see the photos. That is very, That is so different looking. Interesting. It's got a decent sized lot though. Looks like it backs up to kind of farm fields. Definitely assuming this is an older house. Ouch. That's a rough look, not gonna lie. Not my favorite. Oh, wait, hold on. Virtual staging. What are they doing? So they're showing you what it would look like redone. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it would definitely look better like that, in my opinion. I'm all for preserving older things in certain scenarios. Not necessarily in this one. But that's just me. That's just me. Don't, if you disagree, that's totally fine. I do like the, what is this, like a garage or a workshop? That's really cool. It looks super spacious. Damn. How nice is that? Needs a little cleaning up, you know, get rid of the weeds on the cement there and kind of clean it up a little bit. Maybe give it a little power wash, a little repaint where it needs it. But it's got potential. I'm a little surprised that's 380,000 euros. But perhaps this part of Belgium, or maybe just Belgium as a whole, would that be fair to say that Belgium's a little bit on the pricier side? You'll have to let me know. And then going totally in a different direction again. Now we are on a Czech site. So looking in Czechia. Again, I love this. Right away, we see some different style houses that you would ever find here. Oh, no. Okay, so we have some ad pop-ups. Not a big deal. What do we have here? We have... What in the hell number is this? I have no idea. What's this? Extremely wasteful. Is this like a grading thing? Are they saying that the price for this house is extremely wasteful? That is... Wow, that is epic. Brutally honest. You'll have to let me know. I mean, that's the vibe I'm getting from it. Now, very interesting inside. I kind of like the floor. I'm digging the floor. I like the colors. Look at this. Kind of a cool living room area, rather. A little outdated on the TV there. Not a big deal. This is interesting. This is very different than everything we've seen so far. I dig this. The outdoor area with this gazebo or whatever you would call that thing's pretty cool. I like the landscape it's in. Like it looks like it's in a pretty area on like almost like like a hillside or something. Kind of a lush atmosphere. You know, lots of beautiful plants and trees. Wow, that's pretty cool. I feel like the nature in the Czech Republic looks like it could be pretty. It looks like it could be beautiful. We got to at least see one or two more. This is like a family house. I suppose I should look at that because I have a family. This is, what is this? Family house. This one's extremely wasteful as well. Mortgage is, let's see, 24,000 Czech crowns. Okay, I'm down here, and it's kind of interesting, like the information it gives you. So it's built in 1980. You know, location, quiet part of town, recreational, ready to move. You know, it tells you the sewage and electricity and all that stuff. Now, I find it funny. This is what's extremely wasteful, the energy consumption. So there you go. This house is extremely wasteful. I love the description there. You just got to love it. That is hilarious. And honestly, that kind of transparency is going to be hard to find here in the U.S., so... Yeah, what's that say, right? This is cool. Again, I mean, it's just different, right? It's kind of cozy. It's smaller. Beautiful areas they're in, though, right? I mean, there's always like hills and you know, greenery around. You know, blue skies. Like, this is a beautiful area that these are in. I feel like these small towns in the Czech Republic are definitely fun. Look at this. You have a little yellow Volkswagen right there. Beautiful, like, terrace here or balcony. I don't know what you would call that. It's awesome. Look at the view. Now that is cool. This is the type of places I'd have to kind of see in person to really judge it. But from an American lens, you know, like I said, I'm fascinated by it. It's a lot different. They look a lot smaller. Now, of course, that's not a surprise, right? All these... You know, not all of them, but so many houses in the U.S. are just huge for no reason. And that's just what I'm used to, right? That's just how it is here. So these look a little bit small in comparison. in reality, they're not too small. It's just our houses are honestly too big in the U.S., so that's why everything else looks a little bit smaller. Interesting how the bed is just on the floor. I mean, you see this in different cultures. It's just little details for me that are, kind of fun to observe. But yeah, this is cool. I think these check houses are nice. And honestly, a lot of these, I'd love to look way more in depth. So we got to do more of this. I think I covered all the ones I was going to do. I think I had Sweden, Germany, Belgium, Czechia, and Croatia pulled up. So I think I covered them all. And I'm going to cut it there. That is interesting. Just a fun one. Looking at different houses in random places in Europe. And I think that's awesome. Definitely going to need feedback in this. Were these good sites? Were these good listings? What did you think of how they were presented? And, were the prices good or were they horrible? All these criticisms or opinions, I would love to hear from you. And if you guys really liked this, let me know and we could do more of this, or perhaps we can do this in a live stream format, which I obviously think would be even better because then we can actually get, everyone's opinions together and you guys can maybe steer me in a better direction on how to navigate the sites and stuff like that. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed that. I really do appreciate you for stopping by. And like I said, it is Friday, so enjoy your weekend. And hopefully the weather's great. I'm hoping it is here. I think it's supposed to be nice this weekend. That's going to be it for this one. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.